Hello everyone, my name is Faye and you're watching Mystery Date with a Book. Okay, today we're going to do a book review. By the title of the video, you already know what we're talking about. Today we're going to review Where the River Runs Gold by, I can never get her name right, I'm really sorry, so I'm gonna show it to you. Sita Brahmachari or Brahmachari, I'm really not sure, I don't know. But it's a beautiful cover, look at that. It has a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. It's shiny, I mean the letters are all golden and all that. Like the illustration is beautiful. And another positive, we're just diving right into this book review, aren't we? There's a map right in the beginning. I love maps. I love any book that has a map, to be honest. It doesn't matter how simple it is, it doesn't matter how complex it is. I love maps in my books. And that was a big plus for me. I really enjoyed it. I could actually picture the place where they were, the setting of the story, really well because of the map. Otherwise it would be very confusing. So let me read you the blurb first so you know what we're talking about. Cairo City was beautiful once, before the storm. Now the flower beds are built over with brick. The bees are long gone and children are sent to freedom fields to pollinate crops by hand for the good of the nation. 11-year-old Shifa knows her twin Temba. It's not Themba, it's Temba. Temba won't survive this harsh existence for long. They have to escape. But then she uncovers an impossible secret. If she can protect it on their perilous journey home, Shifa could change everything. So this book, Where the River Runs Gold, it is a middle grade book. It's about brother and sister. They are 11 years old. Shifa, she's the girl. She is kind of our main point of view. She's the main character here. And Shifa and her brother Temba, they both go to this pollination farm because in this world there has been this massive storm and bees no longer exist. So basically the whole nature from their land has been destroyed in this storm, in this big hurricane I think it was that they had. And then suddenly they had to learn how to live without the bees because the bees were extinct. That was it. There were no more bees. So now society has been split into three parts basically. The paragons, where the rich live, the haves and have-nots. The have-nots are called freedoms. Anyway, I could be wrong. I can't find it now. I could be wrong, but it's the paragons, the freedoms. I think it's freedoms. And people who decide to live outside of that society, they have no houses. They just live in the outskirts of that little village where they live and live off the land. There are no trees or anything around, so it's really hard. They call themselves the foragers, but there's not much to forage, so they're really struggling. Anyway, the story is about Shifa and Temba, brother and sister, 11 years old, and they are freedoms. They get very little benefits from the government to help them survive. So they're always hungry. They struggle very much in life. And now, this book is split into three. Can you see here? I put 2 bookmarks here. The first part of the story is all about setting the scene. This is world building. This is, even though the world is not different from ours, this is setting, just telling us about their life. Now, the blurb says that the story is about these 2 siblings escaping from this pollination farm. And no. I'm sorry, but it's not. Because, you see, this is a bit where we were getting to know the characters. They're still at home. Now, this middle bit here, is where they're actually in the farm. And only this last third of the book is the 2 of them escaping. Now, I have a problem with this blurb because it says it's all about their adventure, their escape from the farm, but it's not. That's just a spoiler. They're telling you that they're going to escape the farm. That's all it is. That there are no surprises in this book. So nothing I say really is going to be a spoiler, because the spoiler is all in the blurb. This is all them at home getting ready to leave. Very harsh life. I felt very sorry for these children, very sorry for them. It really was hard. Then this middle bit here is them in the farm. They're treated very badly in the farm. They are very mistreated. They get their identity ripped away from them in a way. Like they're not children anymore. They don't belong to their parents. They belong to the government. That was very hard to read. Like, you know, it could have been worse. It could have been a lot more aggressive, but it's a children's book, so I get it, you know. It's hard, but not that much. But to the characters, you know, from their point of view, it was very, very harsh. Okay, and then the third bit here of the book is them escaping the farm. But what it doesn't tell us is what happens at the end. Like, it's a standalone, it's not part of a series, but the end is very, very rushed. Like, we don't know how Shifa's discovery affects her society. Like, we don't get to see that. We only get to see an epilogue from someone years and years later. And they haven't heard of Shifa or anything, and she seems to be a very important person. I had a few problems. The pacing was okay, but I expected... I'm just going to keep this split into three because this is just nonsense, really. I expected the whole book to be about their escape, because that's what I got from the blurb. Fair enough, we didn't get that. But the pacing of the story itself was really good. There was no big mystery, I don't think, because we knew they were going to escape. We knew that they were going to find something that most people didn't know about, and it was kind of obvious from the start what it was. So, yeah, no surprises there. But the characters were very well developed, I thought. Sometimes they did act a little bit older than their age, but I think that's because of their upbringing. I think that was because their life was so harsh that they had to grow up fast. You know, it just happens that way whenever you lead a hard childhood. You know, it happens in real life. So I thought that was very well done. The farm itself, I thought it was very interesting, but I knew they weren't going to stay there for long, and there you go. We were going to escape. I knew that. Now, if I was a child reading this, I think I would have liked it as well. I would have liked this book, but I wouldn't be surprised either. Like, honestly, I think whoever wrote the blurb for this book hasn't read the book. Some parts, especially at the end, where the end was very, very rushed, things happened to the main character, to Shifa, that wouldn't happen. Even in a dystopian, it just, like, can you imagine? Like, it's not really a spoiler because, you know, they're going to escape the farm, right? It's in the blurb. So, I don't think an 11-year-old would survive out in the wild for weeks on end with serious injuries. I don't think that was realistic at all. The things she was doing, like, you know, climbing mountains and stuff, it just, no. At one point I thought, oh, maybe she's dead and she's just dreaming this whole journey home, because she got really injured a lot of times, like very frequently. She was very seriously injured. So I thought, maybe she died here. Oh no, maybe she died over there. Oh no, maybe she's already dead. So I was very confused. Yes, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm not gonna say if she died or not, but you know, you can read this book for yourself. It is a really good book. It makes us think about climate change, about the importance of bees. It makes you think about society as a whole, the difference between the haves and have-nots. There are some really big issues in here. It's a really good book. I would recommend it, but it's not very exciting because you know what's going to happen. So there are no surprises at all. Yeah. If they had a different blurb, that would have been a completely different story. I would have loved this book. If I didn't know they were going to escape, I would have enjoyed this a lot more. In my opinion, they need to change the blurb. I know it's too late, the book has been printed already, it's done, but I would have changed the blurb. Honestly, if I was the writer, if I was the author of this book, and somebody gave away the ending on the blurb for me, like, I thought writers made their blurbs. You know, I thought they were in charge of writing their own blurbs. Maybe it was the author. Maybe not. I don't know. I wouldn't have done that. Just saying. But anyway, I think I'm giving this book a 3.5 out of 5 because it is a really good book. It's an adventure. It's really good. It's a dystopian for middle grade. Like, it's a middle grade dystopian, which is very, very interesting. We see the world through the eyes of a child. I thought that was very, very well done. But we already know what's going to happen. We already know the end of the story because the blurb spoiled it. So, I'm going to give this book a 3.5 out of 5. Yeah. I still recommend it. 3.5 out of 5 stars is still good. So if you've read this book, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about it. If you're thinking of picking up this book, please let me know. Do it. Read it. You know, I'm not saying you shouldn't read it at all. It is a really good book. Just pretend you haven't read the blurb. Anyway, if you like this video, you know what to do. Thumbs up. Subscribe, click the bell, leave a comment, you know what to do. You've been on YouTube before. So, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.